and I'm back again to bring you guys some news. Well, it's over, guys. Anyone that's out there that loves the Snyderverse and want to see the Justice League to finish what Snyder started, it's not gonna happen. I had a weird feeling that it wasn't gonna happen when things start dying down, the news and information that it's possible that it can happen, but. Zack Snyder just put the nail in the coffin, guys. He said, basically, he just officially said it. All right, so this is a news about the Snyderverse, the end of the Snyderverse.
It's over. It's not happening. The Snyderverse is officially dead. Hey everyone, welcome back to our movie news. An interview with Zack Snyder from The Hollywood Reporter has been released, and Snyderverse fans, brace yourselves. It's not good news for you. It appears the Snyderverse is officially over, and Snyder has decided to move on from DC forever. In a very deep and long interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Snyder talked about his experience with DC, the highs and the lows, and it is ultimately the lows that have helped him make this decision. In one of the final paragraphs, the article says this about Snyder and DC, but Snyder says that chapter of his life is now closed, and it would be difficult to coax him to reopen it. If his buddy Gunn called him and invited him back to DC, he might consider doing a Dark Knight Returns adaptation, but only a true representation of the graphic novel. If Marvel rang, he might think for a beat about Daredevil, an Elektra movie, maybe adapting Frank Miller's Elektra Lives Again, but that's it, he insists. The next paragraph states, for now, he says, he's entirely focused on the new universe he's molding on a distant, remote moon where nobody wears spandex or flies without a spaceship. And he's busy expanding his own real world Snyderverse that is his family. He became a grandfather last year. So that confirms it for me that Snyder has moved on from DC completely
Mm.
unless Gunn could persuade him to make a true representation of The Dark Knight Returns. The final line saying, but that's it, confirms 100% that he would not return to DC unless it was for The Dark Knight Returns. And even then, he would need persuading.
Mm.
So, other than that, he's not interested. So that completely cements the fact that the Snyderverse will not happen. Any other reasons as to why it could happen are invalidated now that Snyder himself has said he is closing that chapter of his life and focusing on Rebel Moon. And I am so happy for him. He became a grandfather last year and is now working on his passion project. A place where he is happy and where he can tell the stories he wants to tell. He doesn't open up old wounds anymore. He can now move on and be free, which is such a great thing to see. I am so happy for him, and I think this is a refreshing moment for all of us Snyderverse fans. I loved his DC trilogy, and I've always wanted to see the next two movies that he planned. But as time has gone on, I have realised that it was getting more and more unlikely, and I said my full thoughts on the Snyderverse a couple of weeks ago. I will always want the Snyderverse to be restored. The same goes for The Amazing Spider Man 3. I will always want to see a third movie, because that's just me being a fan. But like Snyder, I have moved on from the Snyderverse.
Mm.
It's no longer a huge hope of mine that I will keep campaigning for. It's over. It's not happening. The chances of the Snyderverse being restored is now zero. And it's actually quite refreshing. For Snyder, for me, for the DC fandom, everyone can now just move on. If you don't like the DCU and have been campaigning for Gunn to be fired so Snyder can come back, then you have to move on from that. Because Snyder doesn't want to come back. He is happy where he is, and Gunn is happy where he is. And you either move on and accept it's over, or I don't know what you will do. You'll be chasing a ghost, an
Mm.
impossible outcome. For me, I'm all about Rebel Moon and the DCU now. They are the two franchises that I'm most excited for. Both franchises won't be controlled by the studio, they will be controlled by their creatives. And speaking of the DCU, Snyder talked about Gunn in the article saying, I called him and said I wish all the best for him. Snyder would later say about Gunn moving into his old fortress of solitude. I told him I wanted it to work. So Snyder completely supports his friend James Gunn. Some fans out there were trying to claim that they weren't actually friends, but clearly they are. This also adds further evidence to what Gunn said months ago about when he talked to Snyder. Many tried to claim that Gunn was lying about saying that Snyder wasn't showing any interest in DC anymore and was happy over at Netflix. But Snyder's words here completely back that statement up. So I think many people, including myself, have been too harsh on James Gunn. I think we've let our emotions cloud our judgment. Hurt because what we loved was taken away from us, and we targeted that pain towards.
All right, guys. Basically, that's the gist of it. Seems like Zack Snyder, he's trying to like make sure like um, when he basically make the statement that it's over for us. Well, not for us, for the Justice League, the completion of Justice League. He's trying to mend old wounds and basically, let us know to move on and just accept the new universe that DC's trying to make. Um, I'm happy for Snyder for moving on, and he has New Moon, and he's a grandfather now, and I'm happy for him. For you guys out there, I mean, in my mind, I made up already that it wasn't gonna happen. I guess move on, guys. Move on to something that's better, that's different, and things happen like this. I just wish that he never really made the uh, remade it again, not remade it, completed Justice League that he wanted. I wish he didn't because now there's an emptiness inside of you that you want to see what happens later on. I really wish the very least that he can make a animated movie out of it to complete it. I really, really wish that that could be the very least. That would be the cheapest, and he can do whatever he wanted to do with it. And I guess they're holding him back. They don't want that to happen. So guys, you gotta move on, yo. Gotta move on. Well, that's it. This is movie news, guys, and this is Ty. Like and subscribe.